Autoline Daily is brought to you by Bosch. The number of clean diesel models in North America will double by 2014. Bosch Clean Diesel. Good, clean, fun. Bridgestone. Your journey, our passion. Dow Automotive Systems. Improving durability and increasing design flexibility with Betamate structural adhesives at dowbetamate.com. And by the 2013 Hyundai Sonata. Learn more at HyundaiSonata.com.
Hello, and welcome to a brand new episode of Autoline Daily. It's Tuesday, the 4th of December, 2012. I'm Michelle Krebs from Edmunds.com, and I'll have some analysis on November's sales numbers as well as the SAR itself coming up a little later. Last week, BMW took the wraps off a small EV car called the i3 Concept Coupe at the LA Auto Show. But that wasn't the only concept the company showed off. John talked with the head of BMW's iDesign about the exterior styling elements of the i8 concept.
Benoit Jacob is the head of design for BMW i, and you've got this beautiful coupe here. Is this pure electric, or is this a hybrid electric, or what?
This is the sports car of the future, and this is a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle where you of course have the combination of a thermic engine on the back and an electric engine on the front, which all together will give you outstanding performance, I would say similar to a BMW M3.
Now this doesn't look like any kind of sports car I've seen before. What did you want to achieve from a styling standpoint with this design?
The main message into this car is we believe like it is possible to combine responsibility, sustainability and efficiency together with sexiness, with beauty. This is, we believe it should not be a compromise. No one wants to give up the good things of life. I would say no one wants to give up beauty. No one wants to give up a performance in the future, and this is what we aim at doing with the E8 concept, which basically celebrates efficiency, aerodynamic, but in a very sexy manner, I would say.
Very sexy and very unique. Explain why you took the windshield down into the hood. I've never seen anyone try that before.
This is that also our quest. We try to open new territories. BMW I stands for innovation, stands for inspiration. And again, we wanted, similar to the i3 concept, to play with this very strong contrast between this layer that you see here in silver and this black panel that optically helps to make the car extremely light and of course deliberately futuristic.
And the overall proportions, what was your inspiration in that?
When it comes to proportion and sports car, it's quite simple. It should be looking low, it should be sitting on large wheels and possibly at the right place, and of course look like wide and not too aggressive though, but it has to look though spectacular, and I think this is the expectation of the typical customer for this kind of car. But we added a bit of like special innovation, for example, like this wing that you see here helps to channel the hair to the back. It helps to actually achieve an outstanding like CV vert, like the aerodynamic is paramount on this car. Also the downforce with no active aerodynamic, actually. It all works right from the beginning in the correct way together with the rear diffuser. So we spend of course a lot of time in the wind tunnel, even if it doesn't look like actually, but this is of course we believe like a very tremendous result. You see also that the surfacing looks extremely clean, and this is very important. There's still a lot of motion, and like on the i3 coupe concept, you find a bit everywhere this very strong contrast. Here between black, between the taillight, a bit of blue element that kind of suggests the electric drivetrain. This car has no exhaust pipe, this is like all clean, and so we kind of suggest, you know, like the idea of the energy that powers this car through, for example, like these blue elements.
And then one last thing to talk about. These look like what, electric skateboards in the back?
This is correct, and actually this is a show car, and we as designer like to also propose a couple of additional ideas, and in this case these are two kickboards that we've been integrating in the roof. They are electric kickboards made out of carbon, three-wheeler in that case, because mobility is the focus for BMW i. It's not only about cars alone, it's about mobility, and probably the car is not always the most appropriate way to go from A to B, but instead using these little tiny things for the last mile could be also a clever alternative.
We've got a beautiful car here. I can't wait to drive something like this. Benoit Jacob, thank you so much for taking us around your car.
By the way, if you're looking for more from LA, check out Autoline's live webcast from the floor of the show. John gets the scoop about the reveals from the executives themselves. Check it out at autoline.tv. And speaking of the LA show, that brings us to the results of this week's poll question. We asked you who you thought walked away as the biggest winner of the show, and Ford came out on top with 33.8% of the vote. A lot of you were impressed with the C-Max Energy and the Fiesta with the new 1-liter EcoBoost. Ford's luxury division Lincoln followed with 25.4% of the vote. That was a bit of a surprise since Lincoln didn't have anything new at the show, but people loved the fact that it displayed some of its classic cars. After that, it was a three-way tie of Toyota, Mazda, and Fiat, each receiving 5.6% of the vote, and the remainder went to companies like Volkswagen, Porsche, and General Motors. Thank you for participating, and we'll have a new question at the end of the week. Coming up next, a look at last month's sales results.
You know why I pulled you over, ma'am? I need you to recalibrate the Doppler shift on the return signal. Radar's on the frisk.
Do Sonata drivers know something you don't? The Sonata from Hyundai.
Hurricane Sandy blew away some October sales, but as expected, the payback was big in November. Consumers in the Northeast headed to dealer showrooms to buy the vehicles they intended to purchase in October and to replace ones damaged or destroyed by the hurricane. The storm recovery, combined with continued unleashing of pent-up demand, supported by readily available credit and a host of new products, pushed the November sales rate to its highest level since early 2008. To be specific, November car sales totaled 1.14 million vehicles, a 15% increase from November 2011 and a 5% rise from October. That pushed the seasonally adjusted annual rate of sales to 15.5 million vehicles, the highest monthly SAAR since the early months of 2008, pre-Lehman Brothers collapse and recession. Hurricane Sandy recovery in November benefited automakers with the biggest presence in the Northeast, with Honda being number one. Indeed, November was a record setter for Honda, which also hit its stride with new models including the CR-V and Accord, and added the quickly freshened Civic in November. Toyota, Nissan, and Volkswagen, which also rely heavily on sales in the Northeast, had extremely strong months. Volkswagen said sales in the Northeast soared 40% above a year ago, whereas its total sales climbed 29%. But November wasn't all about Hurricane Sandy recovery. Year-end deals and the accompanying marketing, you've seen them, those cars wrapped with big red bows, started even earlier this year than last. The actual money deals aren't that special, as incentive spending didn't increase all that much. Edmunds.com estimates the average per-vehicle incentive in November totaled $2,244 per vehicle, up only $64 from October and down $28 per vehicle from last November. But the ad spending is significant, and it is loud. Expect more of the same in December. The recovery from Hurricane Sandy will continue throughout this month and possibly into next year. And all of the same factors that have driven U.S. car sales all year long will be in play in December, like the unleashing of pent-up demand, the more widely available credit, great new product choices, as well as aggressive product promotions, particularly for luxury cars and pickup trucks. So we're teed up for a strong year-end close and well-positioned for a good start to 2013. That brings us to the end of today's show. Once again, I'm Michelle Krebs from Edmunds.com. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.